This example will be focusing on conventional sheet metal 8-bend box using the base sheet and add flange buttons. First of all, we will use the rectangle button to create a 200 by 200 square using the center point. I will now select the middle. We're able to adjust this using the arrow functions as we have before, as well as the shape angle. We will set these back to what they were at 200 each and hit enter or right click. Hitting right click again allows us to have continuity with all the lines and then turns the internal red. Next we want to go to sheet metal and go to create part. So once we create part, we can either select the internal of the profile or we can draw a window across what we want to create the part. We will define a thickness at this point and a material and a right click to complete. Right click to exit the command and a third time to completely come out of it. What we do then, we can set part properties. If we have automatic selection ticked, we can then hit apply. So what we need to do now is to add the flanges on these 4 parts. To do that, we go to add flange, and what you have here are different parameters, which we will now set length of 100, an angle of 90, and an inner radius of 2. Currently we will leave the start and the end offset at 0. We will now pick our edge, and we can pick the top one. From here we can actually select using the reverse side tag if we want to go up or down. So we've set those dimensions at 190 and 2, but we can change these here by dragging again as before, or by typing in the dimension. The bend itself, as you can see here, we have different styles. We'll have an inside constant, an outside constant, or a full bend outside, depending on what we want to achieve. We will keep full bend outside for this exercise. And I will click right click to complete and right click to exit add flange. We will repeat that. So we will go to add flange, keeping with the same dimensions as before. We will select our edge, and again we can move that and set the height either via using the parameters here, or we can actually drag that up and down. If we wanted that to meet this edge, we can hold on to this, so hold down left click, and we can actually drag to that point, and that will allow us to snap so they are now at the same height. And again, right click to complete. Rather than pressing right click again, we can select an edge. So again, we will select this top edge. We still keep the functions of reverse side if we wanted to flip, and we can change these as we so wish. What we can do as well, we can change this angle. So this is that angle, which is set at 90. Any more that's not possible, so if we go beyond 1, it will disappear. And then the same the other side, depending on what internal radius you have. And again, we'll just change that to 90. And right click to complete on that. On the final one, again we will select our edge, and we can change our internal radius by dragging depending on which way we want to go. If we wish to set that, we have the parameters on the left hand side, which allow us to snap back, and now we have a full bend box. And if we'll have a look at that in different views, so we'll have a front view, back view, or we can just have a typical isometric view. and right click to complete. What we'll do now is to complete our 8 bend box, we will add 4 further flanges, but we will change these dimensions. So same as we did earlier, we will select our edges. We're just going to change these to say a length of 25, and by hitting the tab key we can actually make that shorter immediately. We still have full access with our inner radius angles. I'm just going to hit right click on that to complete, and I will do the same on the other side. So now we have 2 sides that are identical, and right click to complete. I will now add a bend to these 4 sides. So the first one I will click here. You'll notice that there is not a flange being created, but that is because these flanges here, which have been previously made, are in the way. So we need to change our offsets. So this is the start point from the edge, put 50, and we'll do the same for the other. And what you can see now is that we are 50mm away from this edge, and we are 50mm away from this edge. We can of course decrease these. So if I can change that to 25, you can see now they have been increased. And I will do the same for this one. So now that we have a flange there, we can have a quick look again to our isometric drawing. And what we'll do now is we'll create another edge here, but we will drag this so that it can meet in the corners. So to do that, we must again go to add flange, create our flange, which is the same as this. And what we need to do is we can right click to complete, right click to exit, and then we need to use the option of stretch flange. What we do then, we can zoom in and select our flange, select our edge, and right click to accept. And what you can see now, we can actually increase or decrease this flange depending on what we want to do. If we were to take that to the actual edge here, you can see we have a distance of 4. But we want to leave a small gap there, because if we rotate, you can see there is no gap. So we're going to change that to 3.9. 3.9, and hit enter to leave a small gap. And then we can either right click to complete or tick apply. We can now do this on the other side then as well. So again, stretch flange, select your edge, right click to confirm, and then drag that to the edge. As you can see, if you go too far in, it starts to take that edge away. So what we want to do is just change that value to 3.9 and then right click to complete. That gives us a very nice tight box there. On this side, if we needed to just take away this corner slightly, we need to use the option of trim side bends. So, to trim the side bend, for whatever reason, we would click on the bend that is obstructing us, click face, and right click to complete. And you can see that will then trim the edge of that. And we have the option then for both, if you want to trim both sides. And that can be done on every bend. So here we have an 8 bend box, focusing on base sheet and add flange.